It's been over a month since I've sewn, and I've been left unsupervised with tablecloths. If I don't make something cute, stat, please call national security, because I'm a danger to myself and others. It's February. I have finally emerged from creative hibernation, and I have multiple UFOs, better known as unfinished objects, and oh baby, some of them are seasonal. I have one particular UFO that feels very poignant for February. You know what, let's just get into it. I'm Grace, by the way, if you didn't know. Now you know. Come on, let's cut fabric, and I'll let voiceover Grace describe what's actually going on. Okay? Come. I love a themed outfit, and when I saw this tablecloth at the thrift store, it immediately screamed, shirt and skirt set. I don't know how it screamed, as it doesn't have lungs, but I digress. I started by drafting the skirt pattern from my measurements. It felt very official, doing my math right on my tracing paper, using my measurements and adding seam allowance. However, pride cometh before a fall. I won't spoil too much, but I will say my hips are not that low on my body. I do wonder if the McCarratours just lie down and trace yourself method would have worked better here. I took care to match the pattern as best I could. It was somewhat difficult given how small the tablecloth was, especially given that I had already cut out a shirt from it, but miracles can happen. I started by giving myself some somewhat arbitrary darts. They're about a 1/2 inch each. I'm honestly not sure whether they actually do anything, but they feel like they're helping, so that's gotta count for something. Fiddle-dee-dee, riddle-hee-hee, I have an important riddle for thee. What's the difference between a sewist and a sculptor? Give up? Me too! Despite my expert drafting, I sewed and re-sewed the side seams about 3 or 4 times to carve out the shape I wanted from that trapezoidal pattern I cut. But let's not think about that. We have pockets. Welcome to the try-on zone! Yesterday I made some very good progress. I have the front slit joined, this side joined, and this is just pinned right now because I gotta put a zipper in. But before I do that, I've tried it on and I've noticed some things. Mainly, if you draft a skirt that's a trapezoid, you will sew a skirt that's a trapezoid. I've already done one sort of trim to smooth that out, and I think I'm going to do at least one more. This side's been sewn, so I'm just probably going to sew in a little further. I've marked it off a bit. All I've got to do at this point is install an invisible zipper. Yeesh, I know. Get that trimmed down, finish edges, hem, and then I'm gonna add a waistband by way of making it sort of invisible. Like I'm just going to create a waistband with a thing that I will fold down. And then we will have a skirt. But very important, we need to take a moment to appreciate the pattern matching happening here. Are you ready? Look at that. That's a seam, and it still makes complete hearts. This has truly been the trial of pattern matching, and I'm really happy with how this is coming out. After I zipped through a quick waist facing, I faced down the beast, an invisible zipper, and this one hungered for my pain. I rat nested it. Invisible zippers will be the death of me. The problem. Ladies, gentlemen, friends of all genders, I would like to welcome you back to the try-on zone. So, as you can see, we've made some progress. Essentially, yesterday, I spent a considerable time sculpting this after I inserted the zipper. I kind of just started sewing lines as I felt them and, picking out what was and wasn't working in my eyes. And we got here, which isn't too bad. I'm quite a fan. And again, the pattern matching. Superb. Except for that one pocket on the back, but we don't have to talk about her. We're still a little lumpy bumpy on the side seam, but I don't think there's a lot, honestly, that can be done about her. See? A little lumpy bumpy on the side seam. We're messing around. We're futzing and finding out. So, is it perfect? No, but at this point, it's good enough because I don't have enough fabric to recut this and do it all over again. And I really spent way too long on this zipper, so we are not doing it again. I feel very powerful with my cool girl leg slit like a real zillennial. We're finally on the finishing touches. Off camera this morning, I did a dog's breakfast of a stitch in the ditch on the waist facing. It's looking pretty good. It's not too bulky because it is sort of naturally graded in that none of the things lined up and I cut it kind of funny, but that worked out in my advantage, so we ain't touching it. All that's left is I got a hand stitch down the waist facing to the zipper. I got a top stitch this, and then we have to hem. And this is a little longer than I was honestly going for. I have learned in my scant though it may be pattern drafting experience that I make the same mistake all the big four patterns do, which is they always give you way too much designies because you can always take away. It's hard to add back in unless you're starting from scratch. So I just made this way too big in a lot of places, and that's where a lot of the weird sort of bumping and bubbling was coming from. And I also made this mini skirt a almost knee-length skirt, which again, ain't the vibe. So I'm gonna bring it up, I think, to this red row right here to give it that true mini, preserve the split, just be real cute. And I think that's a skirt. We got to be done this by 2 p.m. because we still have a top and I have things to do today. Let's put on some pants and get to it. Ready? This is a finishing technique born of, well, not quite laziness, but one of knowing that I didn't have a ton of options. Considering I had drafted my trapezoid straight down from my hip measurement, I basted a line of stitches at my hem turning point, zigzagged the raw edge, and top stitched the hem in place. A more proper way would be to turn the edge in twice, but I didn't want the bulk. With that, I hand stitched my waist facing down so it wouldn't go crazy on me. Skirts can be wily beasts. Never get between them and an exit. Skirt complete. It still has problems, I'm not gonna lie, but I am at the point now where we just have to be done. Not everything has to come out perfect, and I am so beyond proud of the pattern matching on the front slit that I don't want to spend more time on it. I just want to be proud. Now comes the part where we deal with the UFO. What do I mean by UFO? A few nights ago, I had a close encounter of the third kind, and they left an unfinished object in my house in the form of a crop top out of that same tablecloth. I don't know how they got it because I very clearly bought that tablecloth myself, but they were like, hey, we started this. We don't understand human sewing. Can you finish this? And I said, well, I guess. And they were like, cool, can we do experiments on you? And I was like, absolutely not. And so they just said, okay, we'll stick with the shirt. So now I have a half-finished shirt I need to get done before Valentine's Day. Let's see what we can make work because we are running out of fabric. That's right. It's a real life UFO. This top is made from this pattern, and we're gonna finish it with this bias tape. Ooh, hi Barbie. And instead of regular straps, I thought that was kind of boring, so what we're going to do is tie ribbon. Ooh, you get a bow moment type straps instead. Now, we are less than 48 hours out from Valentine's Day, and I plan on wearing it on Valentine's Day. So I gotta get this done. Anyone who knows Vogue V9320 knows that this is supposed to be a lined shirt, but anyone who knows this pattern knows that it is meant for a much thinner fabric than a tablecloth. Instead of lining it like you're supposed to, because I'm short on time, I'm going to bind it with bias binding, zigzag the inner edges, and add straps as I go. And then we add buttons. How's that sound? Sound peachy? I measured how long I needed my ribbon to be in the front, and despite this lovely shot of me measuring my back too, I absolutely ignored that info and cut all of my ribbons to 17 inches. I sandwiched them between my bias tape and my shirt. In retrospect, I probably could have just zigzagged and hemmed like I did the bottom of the shirt, but at least I finally am out of that red and pink gingham bias tape. I tried the shirt on after adding my buttons, and I found a bit of gaping at the armpit. I added a final dart, and we had one heart-stopping outfit. Well, it certainly is a Valentine's Day outfit now, isn't it? I have to admit, there are some things on this one I'm not super proud of, like the wonky zipper and the maybe a little too small of the top. Not that it doesn't fit, but more that it simply could be a little longer, and I think I would be happier with that. Also, this. It does this a lot. I learned the hard way that if you tie the straps too tight, even if you've got the edges of the ribbon actually finished, they will snap at the seam rather than anywhere else. So you kind of have to tie them just a little too loose. Successes! I am immensely proud of the pattern matching going on. The top, I did that a long time ago without thinking about it. The skirt, the brain went into the skirt. And that's all I can ask of myself. Is it a perfect outfit? No, this is not one of my favorites. I'll be straight up. But I'm proud of the fact that I actually made this happen, and I made it happen in time to actually wear on Valentine's Day. Considering my main activity on Valentine's Day is likely going to be this.
Franchise locations remained open, and 13 phone centers, along with the Discovery Zone name and logo, were purchased by the company's main competitor, a powerful rat named Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I'm not concerned about looking perfect on a date. Honestly, straight up, just between you and me, never been in a relationship on Valentine's Day. Not one time. Never been on a Valentine's Day date. Valentine's Day is not my favorite holiday, but it's not my least favorite holiday. Probably like St. Patrick's Day. The only good thing about it is Shamrock Shakes, personally, if you don't like drink beer. So, and I don't. This was just a fun little diversion. I'm happy with how it came out in the end either way. Every bad sewing project is a stepping stone to an even better one down the line. There are a lot of bad sewing projects that I just start wearing anyway and grow to really love. So maybe this will turn into one of them. What I will say is, the longer that this blanket sits on my couch, the closer I get to making fringe pants out of them. Valentine cowboy, hey yeah! Certainly not going to be this Valentine's Day. Ooh, maybe that's next Valentine's Day, is like a Valentine's cowboy look. We'll see. If you like Valentine's Day and you need an excuse to celebrate it with a friend or a loved one, and if you want to be my Valentine, why don't you go ahead and share this video with your friends? Maybe give it a comment or a like. If you're feeling real spicy, you could even subscribe. Now, I've got a date with a cat who apparently needs to have a play of some variety or else she is going to go insane. So I'll see you on the flip-flop. Okay, what are we doing? Huh? What are we doing?